Experience tranquility.
Four teams have already locked themselves into the championship bracket here in the Harmony tier, and four more teams will do it here tonight. And right now, the Nutty Crackers and the Pew Pew Plunderers are fighting for one of those four spots. My name is Dexatron. I am joined by Karma. Man, how are you doing here tonight?
I'm doing great. A little bit chilly outside. Nighttime's already here due to daylight savings time, but hey, might as well play some Overwatch and bring that sun into our own lives.
Hey, absolutely, especially if we do see that Illari here. But like I said, four teams already securing themselves a spot in that championship bracket. Four more will do it here tonight. We have a great one here, as this is an elimination game between these two seeds, number 5 and number 6 overall seed. But Karma, when you look at the bracket here for the Harmony tier, it is anything but harmonious. It is actually more chaotic. You look at the teams who have already secured themselves a spot in there. The number 2 seed being the highest of them. Then you have to go all the way down to the 8th seed, the 11th seed, and the 13th seed, already making sure they're going to be part of that championship bracket here. The 1 and the 2 seeds still have a chance to make it here tonight as well. They're going to be playing in other games, but we are focusing on the number 5 and the number 6 seeds.
Yeah, not to mention these two teams have faced each other in the past. They faced each other week 1 of the season 11 start, and then also in week 7, where the Pew Pew Plunderers won week 1, Nutty Crackers won week 7, so they're a 1-1 tie. Whoever wins this gets to go onto the champ bracket, and the loser ends up going home. So you know both these teams are going to be fighting it out, decking out, using what they've learned throughout the season 11 to put them into the championship bracket.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talked about those two matchups that they both teams face. Week 1, I never really look at those ones as serious matches. Both teams, first, probably real competition. Both could be a little bit rusty. And the PP Plunderers were able to come out on top of that one. But week 7, that is a good kind of measuring stick for this one here. And that was one where the Nutty Crackers were able to sweep PP Plunderers right back. And you look at PP Plunderers in that second stage, it was anything but good for them. It was actually a little bit of a nightmare. They went 5-0 in the first stage, never won a game in the second stage.
Yeah, but now they're back at it, winning again. Now, hopefully, they're going to try to keep that winning streak going, of course, against Nutty Crackers, where they have the first map ready to go, and it is going to be Nepal. First map, so it's going to be nice, good old-fashioned Nepal, not brand new Samoa. But, I mean, hey, Nepal is always one of those ones that's always going to be different to what you see, because these 3 maps, they've gone a lot of different transitions that we've seen throughout Overwatch 2 and even Overwatch 1 in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. Nepal, I mean, it's a well-known map. A lot of reasons why you're picking this here. But, you know, when I talked to both teams' coaches here and I asked them what kind of comps have they been working on here, both of them kind of did tell me that they were really focusing on the Sigma comps. Nutty Crackers coach Ranger did mention that they were looking at maybe running an Orisa as well, but you can basically play the same DPS with an Orisa that you can with the Sigma.
Yeah, you really can. Sigma's becoming one of those sort of tanks that it's very powerful because of just how well-rounded he is. He has the shield, he has the eat, he can soak up damage completely. And then Orisa, on the other hand, is sort of the same thing, but a little bit different. She has the javelin spin, she has the spear to knock you out, but instead of being able to eat stuff, they do have the gold and the fortify that just makes you sort of immune to any sort of CC, which is very, very strong, especially heading into first point, which is Village, which a lot of time we see the sort of May Symmetra bunker on the point try to sort of play style instead of some different things. So we could be seeing, we are seeing 2 different styles come out from both teams.
Yeah, and look, Nutty Crackers bringing out that Orisa that they did talk to us about here. Westy, though, on the Soldier is actually a really interesting pick for them.
Yeah, it really is. Just being able to try to get that high ground, but they are just going to be pure damage output on the side of Nutty Crackers. The Orisa for the tank, Bastion, Soldier, and then Illari and Baptiste. That's basically pure damage. On the side of PP Plunders, they're trying to take that damage and consume it. They are going with the Sigma and the Mercy instead, as well as the Symmetra to try to get to point faster.
But the Mercy is a really interesting pick, and you see why. The Symmetra there was just going to TP out. They're going over to this Pharmacy comp, which I have seen them run on this map before in the past and found a lot of success. Maybe that's why we're seeing Westy come out here on this Soldier, but they're not even focusing on King Rex, so they're already able to find one with Flapjack immediately traded out there on the Keys. A huge pickoff there for Nutty Crackers as they try to get back into this fight, but Lord Derry at the moment pushing a little bit too far. However, that push will come back to help them out as they do find King Yakko, but still, Nutty Crackers losing members here now, just being pressured out by King Rex.
Yeah, this is really why you want to have a Pharah on this map. There's so many different angles that you can go into, but they're all very tight chokes. So you just sort of get completely steamrolled by a pharmacy, and we can see that right now. Pew Pew Plunderers King Rex is that already basically has their ult, where the side of Nutty Crackers, the closest is the Illari at 77 because of their healing damage output.
Yeah, and King Rex going to be able to have that barrage ready to go here pretty early. I would watch out for the Kraken, able to find one. Now the barrage coming out here from King Rex. We'll be able to find Flapjack right there, who does trade out there for King Yakko. But right now, if you're PP Plunderers, you are happy with those kills. And now, you might even be able to get Lord Derry here. You do find Mech. Lord Derry going to be able to escape with their life.
Yeah, just barely too, but now again, like we said, they just use barrage. They're already at 42%, but on the side of Nutty Crackers, we do see a swap Flapjack off of the Bastion onto the Cassidy, as well as having both their support ultimates up, especially with Pew Pew Plunderers. If they are grouped up, that Illari ultimate can do a lot of damage for that side.
Yeah, but you do have one character on the side of PP Plunderers that can pretty much negate that Cap the Sun there from Mech. Kraken can eat it there, but you do see King Yakko take care of 008 early, so there's gonna be no damage here for the Nutty Crackers as they try to retake the point, or take the point for the first time here. Cap the Sun now coming out here from Mech, does get a couple of people there. Gonna be able to find one. There is King Rex. Cap the Sun only gonna get rid of the immortality field there from the Nutty Crackers. King Rex already has another barrage ready to go. They don't have to use it this fight, but they will find Westy here, and now Nutty Crackers so separated from the rest of their team, gonna end up losing this fight here, and they're gonna allow King Yakko to get rezzed.
Yeah, and the one thing too that happened right away is the Baptiste on the side of Nutty Crackers was immediately fell. As soon as you see him turn around the edge, 008 just immediately fell, which is gonna happen against Pew Pew Plunderers because of the amount of damage output that they have. And Nutty Crackers, they don't really have anything defensive to help their supports cross, help their team cross. So it's really just gonna be like, hey, it's really gonna be last man out there standing and see if you can try to survive.
And look at this, PP Plunderers holding on to 4 ultimates for now. Started off with the Valkyrie right now, but your Nutty Crackers, you have to be playing fast. The artillery comes out there from King Yakko, not able to find anyone. The Flux, though, will be able to find Flapjack there, and then they find 008, so no Amp Matrix as well. PP Plunderers just looking to clean up the rest of the members here of the Nutty Crackers. They do have the point to be flipped here. Now the barrage coming out from King Rex, finds one, finds two. Point gonna go back in control of the Plunderers, and they will end up taking our first point here.
Yeah, they will just get it so that way they can get it so that way at the very end. But on the side of Nutty Crackers, they didn't really use a single ultimate. They really only used the Illari ultimate, and they died with two. They died with the Orisa. They died with the Amplification Matrix. So you got to take advantage of that. Be like, hey, you guys got to use it. I get that you guys were getting overpowered by Pew Pew Plunderers, but it's one of those things too where it's just you just need to be able to try to use it at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, and you talked about the ultimates not being used there for Nutty Crackers. I don't think Westy was able to build up to that visor that entire round. Flapjack, and with that swap there, was not able to build up to a Deadeye. So again, you know, just not able to find a lot of value on that first round there. And Westy, I mean, they came out on a good counter for the Pharah there, but we're really never able to get anything going against them.
Yeah, it really wasn't, as we do see a little bit of a swap for Pew Pew Plunder, switching over to the Mei Sojourn and the Zen instead of the Illari, or instead of the Mercy Pharah and the Bastion. So it's going to be a little bit easier for the side of Pew Pew Plunders to try to take that space and take advantage of Nutty Cracker's sort of non-mobility comp.
Yeah, absolutely, but I'm really surprised Mech coming out here on the Mercy. I just don't know how much value that's going to really help their team out with here, especially with the Ice Wall coming out there from King Yakko, trying to get rid of Lord Derry. They're not going to be able to, but the Immortality Field already invested there by 008, and you see what Pew Pew Plunders is doing right now. They're actually forcing the Nutty Crackers back.
Yeah, they really are, just especially with that Mei wall. But King Rex does find a pick. Oh, wait, no. King Rex finds a pick on the 008, so now they're able to get the point basically for free, but Flapjack is able to clean it up.
You know, you would say they should get the point for free here, but no team has touch point until that moment right there, and 008 able to get res back in this one here, but Kraken might be able to kind of keep the Nutty Crackers off the point here while the PP Plunder is finally able to take the first point there. Westy, though, finally finds a kill there on the Kraken. A huge pick off there for the Nutty Crackers, and this might lead them to a point flip.
Yeah, it really will, and it does. So on the side of Pew Pew Plunders, they only get 6%, where they could have capped it a long time ago and gotten at least 10, 15. But on the side of Nutty Crackers, this is what you want all along. Your comp is high damage and very hard to try to fight into, where we see a swap come out for Pew Pew Plunders. Keeg switches off of the Zen onto the Lucio now to try to get that speed.
Yeah, and like you said, it's for that speed. They want to play fast here into this team for Nutty Crackers. That is honestly, outside of Westy, kind of slow all around. Now you see them trying to take space. Right now, King Rex going to be able to find Westy there. A great pickup there for the Soldier. Now the damage coming out there from Gucci. Going to be able to provide a lot of damage. Now you see the counter amp come out there from 008. They won't live long enough to really find a lot of value with it, but Flapjack will be able to there. However, the members of Nutty Crackers already out of this fight early. PB Plunderers able to retake point.
Yeah, but on the side of Nutty Crackers, they do have 4 ultimates basically coming online. The only one that isn't online is Westy at 96 because they just use the amplification matrix. And on the side of Pew Pew Plunders, they have 2 ultimates, but they're getting close to that Mayfree, something that could be a massive coming up for the fight.
And the ice wall coming out here from King Yaku. They're going to be able to try to section off Lord Derry a little bit there, but they are immediately able to melt through that ice wall and make sure they get back to that Orisa. Now they have the Terror Surge ready here. Do they look for someone to get off the map here? The Immortality Field coming out, the Blizzard, the Flux coming out here from the Plunderers. A lot of members frozen. They immediately find one off and make it 2 as they find Double A as well, but Flapjack will be able to find Kraken there. Gucci Bambino, though, able to find Westy there. And now, again, the Nutty Crackers get out the fall back, investing 3 ultimates into that fight.
Yeah, investing 3, something that you want to take a look at and be like, hey, we should not be doing that. That was basically a lost fight to start off with, and they ended up using it as we see a switch from Derry switching over off of the Orisa onto the Sigma to try to help his teams. I'm surprised that they didn't do it sooner, especially with how much better the PP Plunderers are looking.
Yeah, absolutely, and you already see Westy's trying to get an off angle here. They don't have that visor anymore. King Rexo does have their overclock ready to go here, and if they pop it off here, they might be able to find a lot of value with it. No one's really recognizing the Soldier right there. They're trying to get some focus put on them so the rest of their team can kind of dive in to the backline of the Nutty Cracker ship, and Flapjack's gonna pop the artillery here, try to find someone. King Rex misses on that railgun shot there, and the artillery will be able to find Gucci there. A great start here for the Nutty Crackers, but you see that percentage already building up to 90% here for PB Plunderers as finally the Nutty Crackers decide to take a fight to point. The overclock comes out from King Rex, but Westy shuts them down there. King Yaku will be able to find Flapjack there, but the PB Plunderers at this point are just playing to get it to 99%.
Yeah, they really are. That ended up happening. So now it's just basically a flip and you cap it for the side of Pew Pew Plunders. But Nutty Crackers, they do come back and they do end up getting the point flip. So now they just got to try to hold on to it. Something that they weren't really able to do the last time they got a flip. They were able to get over 40%, but that was really just because they won the team fight and they were trying to come back from spawn. They didn't really win a fight between the two.
Yeah, absolutely, but now the PP Plunderers are going to try to re-engage here. Gucci will have their damages here pretty soon after this fight starts here. Same thing for 008. It's going to come down to who can really build it up first, but Keegs does have that beat ready to go here, so they do play a little bit too aggressive. They can kind of save the rest of their team here. Gucci looking for that damage is going to be able to pop it off there. Actually, they're going to hold on to it here for a moment as PP Plunderers is going to play for point while Nutty Crackers is actually falling back here. 008 has to be the one that touches. That's not what you want to see touch. Lord Derry able to find or lose their life there. King Rex able to find Flapjack right back, but Mech going to be able to find Lord Derry with that res there. Blizzard coming out here, going to be able to find Lord Derry and Westy. Now it's up to Mech just to try to hold on to this point. They'll eventually lose out there. PP Plunderers retake the point. Will anyone from Nutty Crackers be able to get back?
It doesn't look like it. Closest being 008, but they weren't able to touch. One thing as well that I saw is that PP Plunderers was able to accretion the opposing Sigma off the map right at the very end. So that's one of those things too, where it's like they just went super fast, went super aggressive, and we saw it work out for the PP Plunderers.
Absolutely cracking getting play of the game here. I mean, they looked really good throughout this entire first map here on this Sigma, and the Nutty Crackers really had a tough time slowing them down throughout it.
Yeah, they really did. Just went super aggressive and just tried to make some plays. We saw it on first map, especially with the Pharah. Just the amount of damage that came out from Pew Pew Plunders. Nutty Crackers just wasn't able to deal with it at all. They tried switching it up from the Alari Baptiste to like try to do a Mercy Baptiste, to try to do some other different stuff, and it just didn't end up working out at all.
Yeah, absolutely, and we kind of talked about there after that first point. There, Westy and Flapjack. Flapjack was never really able to build to their ultimate because they made that swap there to the Cassie, but Westy was on Soldier that entire round. A good counter to the Pharmacy combo. Really never focused on them and didn't find a lot of value with the Soldier pick. Honestly, throughout the 2 points, they did find a little bit more value on the second point, but I mean, it was a little bit too late.
Yeah, it really was. Just trying to stay alive and trying to find value, as we see here. They ended up getting some value, like you said, on the second point, where it's a little bit more wide open, especially since you mainly want to stick on like that pillar side. But and the first point, it's a lot more enclosed, a lot more close quarters, a lot more tighter. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were trying to get him to switch and he just didn't want to because he didn't get that ultimate yet, and they was pretty close to it in the later half of it. But at the end of the day, you just need to take that advantage and just try to switch right away, especially if it's something that your team needs.
Yeah, absolutely. But the Nutty Crackers here have the map pick for our second map, looking to bounce back. And Karma, they're bringing us to Midtown.
Yeah, New York City, baby. One of those maps it's very awkward how it plays, especially since it came out in the Overwatch 2 beta. I remember looking at it and be like, this is a very weird map to try to hold and try to attack and defend on, because there's so many different ways that you can go. It's not really a traditional 3-lane map where you can go through the middle. You can go through the middle, top in the subway, but it's very much so just wide open. And there's not really a lot of spots on the defensive side that you can sort of poke out and take some off angles on. So it's very wide open. It's going to be interesting to see how these two teams play, especially with the different playstyles that we've seen so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Nutty Crackers, in my opinion, they're picking this map because this first point defense kind of, in my opinion, lends itself towards a little bit of running that Orisa wall and to try just to hold the attacking team out, or under that subway right there, under the train, trying just to hold them as long as they can. But I just don't feel like the Orisa really worked out for Nutty Crackers on the first map that much.
No, it really didn't. There was just a lot more damage on the side of Pew Pew Plunderers that came out rather than the side of Nutty Crackers, whereas on the side of Nutty Crackers, you were expecting them to have much more damage with the Orisa, with the Illari, with the double hit scan. But at the end of the day, it ended up just being Pew Pew Plunderers just out damaging the side of Nutty Crackers.
And look at this. PvP Plunder is actually deciding to go on the offense first. Something that we don't really see that much here, but honestly, I like it. They had a lot of momentum after that first point on Nepal. Second point, it was kind of an even back and forth thing here, but PvP Plunderers, in my opinion, believes they still have this momentum. And this is something that their coach did talk about. They will primarily be playing the Sigma comp throughout the night, but there's going to be a lot of differentiation, or a lot of variety outside of that tank.
Yeah, it really is, and especially since Nutty Crackers, they're sticking with the Sigma, something that worked out a bit for them on the second point of Nepal, but they're going with the Bap Zen again to try to deal with more damage. And the side of Pew Pew Plunder, so again, this is the spawn room, so they could mess it up with me again, like they just did. I was just supposed to talk about it, but they were hovering the Somber, something that could be very good against this Bap Zen comp.
Absolutely. Gate is opened here right now, and Nutty Crackers, in my opinion, need to win a team fight here early. Need to eat some of this clock out a little bit early here. Try to force a minute off before they allow PvP Plunderers to really get something going here. The railgun shot there from King Rex misses. That would have been a lot of damage there to Flapjack.
Yeah, it would have. Just trying to keep this. Flapjack is the one big damage piece that you got to try to keep alive if you're Nutty Crackers. Just this shot, just even if not in the tank or the artillery form, it's just a lot of damage to come out of.
And you do see Gucci here taking that off angle here, trying to focus down Mech, who's back on the Zenyatta. We remember we saw the Zenyatta come out from, I believe, PvP Plunderers on the second point there, but you already see the supports from PvP Plunderers picking up some kills. King Yakko, though, going to make sure that the DPS gets their name in that kill feed. However, Nutty Crackers already down 4, make it 5. That's going to be the first point going over here to the PvP Plunderers in a little over a minute.
Yeah, and that's one of the ways, too, that you can attack, is a lot of people try to go that far left. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. And on the side of PvP Plunderers, it ended up working out with almost every single player on their team getting over 60% to their ultimate. Just great shots from Gucci as well, cleaning up the kills and just making sure their team stays alive.
Yeah, absolutely. But as the cart comes out of the fire department right here, Nutty Crackers is going to have that very good high ground defense right now, and the PvP Plunderers are going to have to engage it in some way. They are coming up on a couple ultimates. Yeah,
they are, and especially with Ilari's the Captive Sun ultimate, it's going to be something too, especially if Nutty Crackers are grouped up. It can do a lot of damage very, very quickly.
And you see King Rex here and King Yakko. No, actually that's Gucci with them here doing this off angle, and it looks like Mech did recognize they were over there, and they immediately kind of focus in on them here. But with Gucci right there, they're building up to that Captive Sun.
Yeah, they really are. The Blizzard comes out for the side of Yak, just trying to get everybody out, and it gets 3.
Oh, that was not what you wanted to see if you're the Nutty Crackers. That is not what you wanted to see at all. But I guess the only saving grace is there was no one on the cart there for Pew Pew.
Yeah, they're really, yeah, it wasn't. But again, like Nutty Crackers, like that's one of the big things too. It's a lot of AoE ultimates that you can sort of deal with. But King Yak just being able to find the Blizzard, finds 3, and now Nutty Crackers are still on the back foot. They do are close to 2. They're close to 2 Walmer ultimates, but they only really have the amplification metrics up.
And the Flux, Wesley will be able to build up to their visor as well, but the damage coming out here from Keeks on that high ground. Look at what it does to the Nutty Crackers, forcing them to play around angles, around corners. They don't want to be melted down immediately now. You do see 008 pop their own damage here, trying to find anyone they can on the Plunderers, but each team playing it smart here. The Flux coming out here does capture a lot. Mech gets taken out right before they get the Transcendence. That's huge here for the Plunderers, as they will be able to cap second point already. They just need to get rid of Derry, who does have a Flux ready to go if they feel like they can win this fight.
Yeah, but they end up not popping it. Keeping it alive for next fight, which I think a lot of Nutty Crackers are glad they were able to, because it would have been a miracle play for that to happen. But Nutty Crackers, they do have 4 ultimates up, and one combo that we did see from Plunderers on Village was that Flux artillery strike. So we could see it here for Nutty Crackers, especially since they have the both up right now.
Yeah, especially since everyone on Nutty Crackers is finally built up to that first ultimate here. 4.5 minutes on the clock for the Plunderers. They need to be able to stop them here. King Rexo looking to get on this high ground. Gucci as well. They want to maybe try to pair up the Overclock and the Captain Sun, but you see the Flux come out here from Lord Derry. Immediately find Gucci there, but King Rex will find one. However, Lord Derry can be able to accretion them back to the spawn, and now this is the fight that the Nutty Crackers were looking for. Getting some kills and going to be able to win this team fight, forcing the Plunderers back.
Yeah, and on point 3 of Midtown too, it's very difficult to head into because of these tight sort of angles. So, but on the side of Plunderers, they are getting close to a few more ultimates. So I would be surprised if we see a dry fight here to try to get Nutty Crackers to use some of their ultimates and make sure, hey, we all have our ultimates that we can all basically just press Q and win the team fight no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, King Rex has been holding on to this overclock for a while. Gucci as well. But you know, I thought we would have seen him a little bit earlier. But normally it's just been one ultimate use and they win the fight already here. I'm just waiting for one of them to pop it off here. King Rex now diving onto that high ground. They're trying to find Wesley. They will be able to find Wesley, who had the visors ready to go. He had a huge pick off early. Now the artillery coming out here from Flapjack as they want to try to get some members off the car here for Plunderers and Transcenso coming out from Mech. I don't know if that was the right play from them there. But now the Captain Sun coming out from Gucci does find a couple of hits there. Going to be able to take care of, no, 008 actually able to keep themselves alive there, but King Rex will be eventually able to take care of them. But Plunderers already down in this fight. You really wonder how much more they're going to invest into it.
Yeah, you really do, but it does look like they could be turning it here as you see Mech getting sort of caught out for the side of Nutty Crackers, gets accretion and does end up falling. So now it's really only 3 players coming alive for Nutty Crackers and the rest of them coming from respawn.
Visors coming out here from Wesley. They're getting pushed back already. Kraken doing a good job making sure they eat up all that damage. That visor is gonna be for naught. It's not gonna find anything. The Flux, it finds for the overclock coming out here from King Rex, but it's not necessarily gonna matter, as it's gonna be an easy team wipe here for the Plunderers, and this will be Midtown fully complete with 2 minutes 24 on the clock.
Yeah, that's great. That's exactly what Kraken wanted. Just try to get everybody grouped up. And Nutty Crackers, they just all grouped up for the Flux, and that was a nice combo for both of them. Just being able to complete the side with over 2 minutes, with just under 2:25 remaining. Just a great call for them to try to keep fighting that third point, especially since they were down a few. But at the end of the day, they're like, hey, we could win this. Our momentum's the momentum is going our way, so might as well keep fighting this instead of just falling back and trying to get respawns.
Yeah, and this play that we're seeing right there, that was one ultimate used, and they got the second point off that basically. The Blizzard was all that Plunderers needed to use. King Yakko found 3 with it. I don't think that was what the Nutty Crackers really wanted to do on that second point hold. That high ground is so key. It is such a good place to hold, but they just were not able to do anything with it because you have to give a lot of credit to King Rex and Gucci there for being a little bit of a distraction. And here, just the final cleanup here of the final fight. I mean, so far, the Plunderers look like a team that are determined to be in the championship bracket.
Yeah, they really do. As we see a little bit of a switch up here. King Yak is off of the May onto the Ash. Something that I really, really like on this defense too, especially because of those little high grounds in the back where the fire truck goes through after you cap the point. You could stand on those and you get that sort of off angle a little bit better, so that way you can throw your dynamites in. And the side of Nutty Crackers, as they do stick with this, they're going back to the Aristocomp, but a little bit different, going with sort of like a more brawly heavy Aristocomp. It's and instead of the Rhine, the Orisa.
Yeah, this is the first time we're also seeing Westy off of the Soldier here. I want to see how the Mei plays with him here. They want to definitely try to Ice Wall off Kraken, but they're going to use the Ice Wall here to actually try to go down Alley. And this might be a good play for them, but again, if King Yakko is able to land a good Dynamite here, it could be deadly.
Yeah, it really could, especially against this comp where you all grouped up. But the Eat comes in for Kraken and almost falls, but so does the Immortality Field.
Yeah, Immortality Field invested there early by, I believe, both sides, but right now, Nutty Cracker's in the Firehouse right now and are kind of just stuck there. King Rex still going to be able to find Westy. King Rex, I mean, throughout the whole series so far, they've been always able to find an early pick, and now they're just doing a lot of damage and keeping the Nutty Crackers kind of in jail at the moment.
Yeah, in this rotation too, you can't really have one person fall, especially if it is your Mei. As we see Nutty Crackers going to the point, King Rex finds another one onto Mech to try to stay alive, as almost falls, but as end up staying alive as Pew Pew Plunderers is able to keep this point alive on their own side, and the amplification comes out from 008, something that they're going to be wanting back in the next fight.
Definitely there. I mean, that was a little bit of a reach for that. You already had lost 2 or 3 members before that, and you really had the question what they saw in with using that ultimate there.
Yeah, it really was. And that rotation too, like I said, you don't really want to have one. You don't want to have one die. And one thing too, going into that fire station, you sort of sit there, you build your ultimates, you build your cooldowns back, and to try to go out and fight, something that they're going to try to do now.
Oakland coming out here from King Rex. They do land one shot, looking for more. Land a second one there. They finally find one pick on the Mech there. And if you're Nutty Crackers, I think the Lucio is so key for you. Losing them early, you're going to have to wait for them to come back.
Yeah, it really is. That's the main key of your mobility as King Rex finds Lord Derry. The key of their mobility, that's the key of your mobility right there. Really, the only other fastest person is Lord Derry because of the javelin spin. So you want to have Mech to try to keep him alive for that speed, but Pew Pew Plunderers are just finding them immediately, and they don't have really any ultimates to come up, especially with just under 2 minutes left to the fight on this point 1.
Yeah, and they desperately need to try to get something going in their way right now. They need to find an early pick, but you look at Gucci waiting right there. The Captain's Son coming out. It hits all 5 members of the Nutty Crackers. The Immortality Field are going to come out, though, to save all their lives there. But eventually, oh my goodness, the explosion. Oh, wow, what a play there from Gucci. Keys and King Yakko cleaned it up.
Yeah, you know that was going to happen at some point. The Immortality Field does stay alive, but gets all 5 members. That's the one part about going through this back alley, is it's so confined and everything like that the damage just amplifies, and especially with Captive Sun just getting that sort of chain reaction explosives, it's one thing that you got to keep in mind. But now Nutty Crackers, they do only have 2 ultimates up and about to get 3 more online.
Yeah, but again, this has been something the PP Plunderers have been able to do to great success so far throughout the series, using one ultimate to win a fight. You're looking at Yakko coming up here on a Bob, Kraken coming up here on a Flux. You might only need to use those 2 ultimates on their own to win a fight to win one fight here. That could be the final fight, but the beat coming out here from Mech, as they do realize the importance of this fight. Now the Blizzard coming out here from Westy. Lord Derry will find King Rex there, but you do see some members of the Plunderers get frozen here. It's kills being traded back and forth. King Yakko, they're going to be able to find Lord Derry there, and Westy Mech falls as well. The Nutty Crackers will have one more chance at this, but they need to play it fast.
Yeah, they really do. Just under 20 seconds as they're respawning. You really just got to go fast. And one thing, though, that you do have is you do have that Orisa ultimate, something that can pull them together and get people close together for Flapjack's Death Blossom if they do get it up on time.
They will get a touch hit at least. Forced overtime. Lord Derry going to make sure of that there. Amage coming out here from 008, but it's going to be King Rex finding Flapjack out early. King Yakko finds 008. This is not looking good for the Nutty Crackers so far. You just see more members fall. Kraken going to be able to accretion Lord Derry. It's going to be a team kill, and Pew Pew Plunderers already on to series point.
Yeah, it really was. That's the one thing too that you couldn't have happen is Flapjack was like one of the first 2 to fall, and they were very close to getting their Death Blossom, something that could have turned the team fight. But here's Gucci again, seeing it from their angle, just complete domination with this Captive Sun.
This Captive Sun explosion chain finds 3, and it finds 3 key members of the team. They're both supports and Westy. That Ice Wall would have been able to get them out if they had it ready to go. I mean, PP Plunderers, I kind of thought, they might want to start off slow there, but no. They came out fast. They came out swinging. Nutty Crackers, they had to respond so many times, and so many times that response was not loud enough to slow down the Plunderers.
Yeah, it really wasn't. And the one thing too that I know that we were talking about before is that on the side of Nutty Crackers, they were working on their Sigma and Ariza comps, two comps that, especially combined, they're very grouped up together. Something that Nutty Crackers has been doing well is staying grouped up. But that's also their downfall. Because of Pew Pew Plunderers comp, you want them to stay grouped up. You want them to be super tight, especially with this Captive Sun, with the Sigma, with the Sojourn E, with all these different things that are a lot of AoE damage that just sort of deletes the side of Nutty Crackers and doesn't really help them that much.
And I mean, we see Nutty Crackers. We've been able to see them, win the occasional team fight here, find a couple picks, but they invested a lot of ultimates into that last play we saw there. The Blizzard came out, was able to freeze too. They found 2 picks off that there, but just ultimates coming out from PP Plunderers to respond to those ultimates that Nutty Crackers threw out was just a little bit too much there. I mean, so far, PP Plunderers have looked like a team that no one can stop at the moment. Nutty Crackers, though, they're going to have a little bit of a break here to think about what they need to do to try to slow down the PP Plunderers as they need to start a reverse sweep to keep their season alive. But hey, like I said, they're going to have a break to do that. We're going to take a break here in the booth as well. So it's going to be about 5 minutes, but the rest of the series will be on right after that. All right, welcome back everyone from the halftime break there. Just want to give you some updates from around Harmony Tier right now. 3 more teams have punched their tickets into the championship bracket. The number 1 overall seed, Tactical Yokers, have been able to sweep Boop to make sure they have their spot in the champ bracket. Galactic Penguins, the reigning champions, able to beat the Colorado Carbon in a sweep as well, making sure they're going to have a chance to defend their championship here in Harmony Tier. And then I believe it was Mass Effect over Ares in a sweep as well to make sure they lock themselves into the championship bracket as well. And hey, Karma, right now, we're 1 map away from another sweep here in the lower bracket to see the Pew Pew Plunderers lock themselves into the champ bracket.
Yeah, and you know they're going to be wanting it too. The quick little 3-0 as we're heading into New Junk City on Flashpoint. Newest game mode, but one of those game modes that's pretty exciting, especially since it came out. Only 2 maps of New Junk City is going to be the one map. A map that we don't really see picked all that often so far in Tranquility.
I don't think it's a Tranquility thing. I mean, you just don't see New Junk City picked at all, really. I mean, Saravasa seems to be almost everyone's favorite map here, but if you're the Nutty Crackers, I mean, you are hoping and expecting that PP Plunderers has only practiced Saravasa, and you're bringing them to New Junk City for a reason here. And Nutty Crackers, they have to start the reverse sweep here if they want to keep their season alive.
Yeah, we really do. As there is 1 swap for the side of Nutty Crackers, Wesley is switching over to the tank. So that's really the only swap that's going to be happening. But hey, I mean, if it's something that can bring up, it's something that can help your team, it might as well do it.
Yeah, absolutely. The Nutty Crackers, though, are a good team. A bunch of friends in real life, all met each other in middle school, now competing here in Tranquility. It's really fun to see that. But I mean, when I was talking to their coach, Ranger, I believe actually it's their general manager, they talked to us about who they were really worried about from the PP Plunderers. And so far, the 2 members that they talked about being worried about have really taken over the series. It's Kraken and Keegs.
Yeah, those 2 are really the 2 that have popped off a lot. Keegs a little bit more on the back end with the main support role, but just hey, being together. But on the side of Nutty Crackers, they're switching it up completely, getting off of the Orisa and heading to Orion Brawl, whereas the side of Pew Pew Plunders, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, sticking with the Sigma comp.
And a late swap there for King Yakko to the Bastion.
Yeah, Bastion try to get out more damage, especially on New Junk City, where I don't think he'd be very liked in this city.
No, you're probably right about that. But, I mean, they might be able to melt down Westy's shield, so that would help them out a little bit here. King Rex, though, like I said, always are able to somehow find the first pick on every map. Already do it here. Lord Derry, though, immediately trades them back out, and then Westy will fall as well, giving the PP Plunderers the advantage, and now the rest of their team just starting to walk through the Nutty Crackers here.
Yeah, this is the one thing though that you sort of see on this map is like, especially with how tight everything is in the arena, you'd think that the brawl is a lot more present because you could just wall off those different areas. But at the end of the day, Pew Pew Plunders takes that damage, something that we've been saying over and over again, this is the ball, and just completely melting the side of Nutty Crackers.
And Nutty Crackers here, they're going to regroup and then re-engage onto the point here. No one really will really have an ultimate ready to go in this fight, but if you're 008, you can build up to an Amagix pretty fast here.
Yeah, you really can as you try to see this flux, as you try to see the speed come out. But Lord Derry just misses the wall a little bit, trying to get that little bit of space, but 008 does end up falling, and Gucci finds 2.
The Ilari on the I'm forgetting the word there, right? But they find 2 and now looking for a 3rd. Gonna be able to find Mech there as well to make it 3 there. The flanking Ilari Gucci with 4.
Yeah, that's the best way that you can sort of play Ilari, the high damage output from Ilari, and just being able to throw your pylon out and keep your team alive. It's really, really good. As we see PP Plunders coming up on ultimates, Kraken's close to their flux, as well as basically every single alt. Whether it's either Nutty Crackers, the closest they have is 008's Amplification Matrix, and they're going to try to fight for this again to try to get this point.
The Flux, though, captures for the Ice Block. Gonna be able to save some, but they lose Mech, Westy, Flapjack early. They're gonna throw the last 2 buys on the point there, but you just see it be an annihilation as Pew Pew Plunderers take the first point.
Yeah, it really is annihilation. But hey, this is the one thing I can say though, Nutty Crackers, this comp, you got to stay close together. I said it last time, but it's becoming their downfall. Just the Flux able to get basically all 5 of them as we head to point C, the refinery, with 2 ultimates up for the side of Pew Pew Plunders, with a 3rd coming on the way.
And if you're Nutty Crackers, I mean, you only have this Ant Matrix ready to go here. I don't think you're really gonna have a lot going into this first fight.
No, you really don't. You only have the amplification matrix, but you can make a point. You can make a move happen with it with the window fire strike. But we see 008 fall immediately with King Yak finding 2, and it's all red in the kill feed.
All red. It's a team kill there. Keegs, Kraken, Rex, and Yakko all picking up kills.
Yeah, it really is. As we see swaps all come out for 008, switching over to the Moira instead of the Bab to try to do something, because really Nutty Crackers, they haven't really won a team fight at all. I think during this game, I think they've mainly only had 1 kill in total on the side of Nutty Crackers.
Is this for damage, or do you think this is for mobility? You think they're making the swap over to the Moira?
I would say survivability above all else, because of just the way that they can. As we see the beat come out, and Varine just trying to run down the side of it, as Gucci does end up falling.
And that's a huge pickup there, because now there's no Captain Summon and Lord Darrigan throughout the Blizzard. They want to win this fight. They freeze 2. Can they find any of them off there? No, they're not able to. The Shatter now comes out. This is desperate here for the Nutty Crackers, but the desperation will come out to work for them.
Yeah, it really was. The Shatter, I think Wesley's going to be wanting that one back. You had them both super low. You just had to kill them. But at the end of the day, might as well get the kill confirms. But Pew Pew Plunders, they're coming back with 3 ultimates: the Artillery Strike and the Captive Sun, something that we saw before just basically destroyed Nutty Crackers.
Westy and the shield, though, could be big for them here, as Gucci looking to be a little bit sneaky here, but I think maybe they were spotted out before.
It looks like they were trying to fall back to the rest of their team. But if they're able to find some people with this Captive Sun, which it looks like they might be trying to do, it could be the turning point here for the PP Plunders.
Oh, but King Rex finds a huge early pickoff here, and the Captive Sun, it hits 4. This could be deadly again. Can we see the chain happen? They find 1, but it'll be Kraken picking up 2 here, and the PP Plunderers already looking to clean up this fight and this point.
Yeah, and like you said before, they only had to use 1 ultimate to try to win the fight. That was the Captive Sun. Now they're basically guaranteed to capture this point, heading into point 3 on Flashpoint, which, mind you, again, it's only 3 points for Flashpoint. If they cap that 3rd one, it's game over. Nutty Crackers, you are going home.
Nutty Crackers now have to start a reverse sweep on this map to keep the reverse sweep hopes alive. This is do or die for them. If the PP Plunderers, look at you right now. 4 ultimates ready.
Yeah, 4 ultimates basically online as we head into point E, the bomb flats. But the one thing going for Nutty Crackers is that they have that point already. So now it's Pew Pew Plunders having to fight into the Nutty Crackers instead of the other way around.
Yeah, and this is going to be a really interesting thing here for us to see, because I don't think we've necessarily seen them do this so far all night. But the Flux comes out. Now the artillery coming out here from King Yakko. It finds 1, but now the PP Plunder's already just looking to clean up this fight. And you just see Kraken grasp all the damage away from Flapjack there. It's an easy team kill, and the Plunderers looking to start the sweep.
Yeah, it really is. Now you see, and now they have 2 ultimates left. They have the Amplification Matrix and the window. If you're accurate, like how King Rex has been so far today, it's going to be rough sledding for the Crackers, especially with them only having Moira's Coalescence online.
They are close to a Blizzard and a beat as well, but Flashpoint, it's not about playing slow and waiting for those ultimates. It's about playing fast, and they need to start playing fast now.
Yeah, they really do, and especially since they're playing split, this is going to be rough for the side of Crackers as the Amplification Matrix comes out for the side of Keegs, trying to find the damage early.
And now the Colossus coming out here from Double A, just trying to find whatever they can here. Both teams being very aggressive. Now Nutty gonna get a charge here. They almost are able to find Kraken there, but now the overclock coming out here from King Rex. Gucci, though, filling up the kill feed with 2. King Rex finds 1. Gucci with a 3rd there, but that is already gonna do it for the fight. But Nutty Crackers was able to take the point there for a brief moment.
Yeah, they were, and for the side of Pew Pew Plunders, they are getting up to 80%, but that little bit of a cap does make it so it's not last fight. They do have basically 1 more fight, but they got to get there fast.
And the PP Plunderers are going to do all they can to try to slow them down. Mech uses the beat only on themselves. They're going to get the touch here. It will force overtime. They just have to live long enough to have some help from their teammates here, but they immediately lose their life here first. As you see the rest of their team get here, already 2, make it 3 members of the Crackers are down. The PP Plunderers can taste it. They're going to lock themselves into the championship bracket with a sweep here over the Nutty Crackers.
Yeah, and the Pew Pew Plunderers just took it to dominance levels, just basically saying like, hey, we want this and we want it bad.
And you have to remember the last time these teams met in the regular season, week 7, The Nutty Crackers swept the PP Plunderers. The PP Plunderers, this was a revenge game for them, and they definitely made it known.
Yeah, it really was just 3-0, just complete dominance for the side of PP Plunderers throughout all 3 maps too. Not even just Flashpoint, just complete dominance for the side of PP Plunderers. King Rex, of course, just being the main target, but Gucci also just being able to find picks left, right, and center on the Illari. It just seemed like everybody had a pop-off moment for the side of Plunderers.
Yeah, I mean, Plunderers, like you said, they look dominant. Nutty Crackers had a couple opportunities. I mean, the second point here on Nepal was probably the best they looked throughout the entire series. Then you head on to Midtown, and they were really never able to get anything going, especially on the defense here. I mean, it was basically one fight on every point. Ultimates coming out from the Kraken, coming out there from the Plunderers. It was basically all they needed to do was use one every time they won a fight. That's all they needed.
Yeah, it really was. Like you said, just one fight, and it was a team fight. And not even just one fight, basically one ultimate and Plunderers would be able to win the team fight. But it just seemed like it was all out Plunderers all day. And Nutty Crackers, at the end of the day, they are ahead at home, but Plunderers are heading into the championship bracket to try to fight and get the victory.
And like I said, coming into the series here tonight, the Harmony tier is not harmonious at all when you look at the teams that are still left standing, especially the seeds. You had the 1 seed lock themselves in. You just had the 4 seed lock themselves in as well. The PP Plunderers, the number 6 seed, locking themselves in. Mass Effect, number 7 seeds, locking themselves in. And then it gets crazy here. The Shibuya Syndicate were one of the first winners to lock themselves into the upper bracket. Then you have Abyss, the 13 seed, making themselves locked into the upper bracket by beating the Nutty Crackers in that upper bracket semifinal there. Luminous Fox's number 11 seed also locking themselves in earlier or last week. And the only high-seeded team that really locked themselves in the upper bracket was number 2 seed overall Kingpin right now. So this is going to be a very interesting bracket here heading into the champ bracket, just because of how random these teams are.
Yeah, it really is. And the disparity between them too. You're having the 1 seed, but you're also having like the 13th and 16th seed too. So you're having these guys that came up and just completely turned it on at the right time. So it could be anybody's day here once we get into the champ bracket next week.
And you have to remember, with the 1 seed dropping down to the lower bracket, I don't think they're going to hold on to that 1 seed. I think they're going to be reclassed or reseeded to I believe the highest will be the 5 seed. It'll be one of those teams in the champ bracket I believe will get those higher seeds, because they're going to be picking who they want to play.
Yeah, they will be. And that at the end of the day, that could be also Pew Pew Plunderers is showing to their competition, like, hey, you don't want to pick us. We can dominate people. We can dominate teams that have dominated us before, and we're ready. We're able to turn it on at the right moment to try to go on and just completely demolish teams. So maybe that's putting a little bit of fear in different people's minds, being like, hey, these guys 3-0'd them in a quick and sort of honestly easy fashion, but do we want to test them? Do we want to bring them in, or do we don't want to fall to them? We want to try to keep our bracket going.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as we look at the overall series here, I mean, it was just, like you said, domination across the board. 2-0 on Nepal, 3-0 on Midtown, 3-0 on Junk City. I mean, there was probably 1 or 2 team fights throughout this entire series that the Nutty Crackers were able to win. The PP Plunderers, I mean, they did not look bad throughout this entire night. Any team that plays this team in the champ bracket is going to have a tough one going into it. But hell, a lot of teams in this lower bracket, they are very good. I mean, Tactical Yoker's number 1 overall seed were in this lower bracket as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see how those teams in the upper bracket are going to choose who they play. Yeah,
it really is. And it's going to be interesting to see the rest of this week as well. Because of this first game, it's 3-0, quick and dominant fashion. Hopefully not the rest of these games are like this, but hey, we're heading in the champ bracket next week. This is the last time for teams to say, hey, we deserve this shot, we deserve to make it, and we don't want to go home just yet.
Yeah, absolutely. But hey, that will do it for us here tonight. But like you said, there's a lot more action to happen this week as every tier here is basically locking into Champ Week starting next week here. But hey, tomorrow, another game on the dock for us here at Tranquility, where you'll be watching a Transcendence matchup between the number 7 seed Classified and the number 8 seed Eternal Blue. I believe that one is also one to lock themselves into that championship bracket. Karma, I want to thank you for being my co-caster today. You are great as always. I want to give a huge shout out to the two people behind the scenes of Hippy and Orange. They did a lot tonight to make sure you got all the great angles and replays you saw throughout the night. But that'll do it for us here tonight. Remember, a great Transcendence game tomorrow against Classified and Eternal Blue. Make sure you tune into that one. You're not going to want to miss it. But that will do it for us here tonight. Have a good night, everyone.
Don't be scared, 'cause